Hello, Professor Ludwig von Fuckpants at your service. Just wanted to update you guys a little bit on the game warden stuff. Really appreciate. I can't believe I've never got a video that's got 190,000 views. It's like holy smokes. Um, excuse me, I had to have some coffee. Anyway, I was out. I hauled some wood today in a triaxle, just taking it off the job so I could bring it over to my old shop, Rob's shop. Now he said I could pile it over there and load it on tractor trailers. I can't get tractor trailers in that job; it's too narrow getting in and out. So, but boy, was it cold! Ugh. It's like 22 or 3, but the wind blow. Oh, it's just miserable. So I got a couple load of that, and I had enough for today. I came in, warmed up, have a coffee, and I got thinking I'd do a little vid and catch you guys up. A lot of people want to know, well, how did it end up? Because I was jabberjawing. Well, I didn't get any citations, no tickets, no nothing. Um, it ended quite civilly. They asked me how I wanted them to exit the property because I didn't want them walking up the hollow, because there was still 3 people up there, you know, said, and anyway, we'll walk out. It's, well, just jump in. Josh had his Can-Am he just got with, it's got a heated cab and everything in it. And so we'll give you a ride out. We're gentlemen, And so then all ended equitably. We brought them up to their truck, which was parked on the, basically right in my brother's shooting range. But anyway, I had went up there. I had on my 4-wheeler, and Todd mentioned, hey, come over here, I want to talk to you, and they didn't. They bailed, but whatever. Everything ended equitably, whatever. But that still doesn't change the fact that I want to look into this. I'm continuing to look into it. This open fields doctrine, and how I firmly believe it was a runaround, the Constitution. And people quite a few people in the comments, not quite a few, very few, are willing to just, well, whatever, that's the law of the land. Well, it really isn't. It's a go around, and it's a compromise, and this is why other states are contesting it and kicking it and actually using their own state's constitutions, and especially here in PA, our state constitution, Section 1, Article 8, if you read it, it does use the term possessions instead of effects, which clearly possessions includes estate and properties. So there's really no gray area. So that's what I want to get at. The underlying thing here. I don't personally feel, and I don't think our founding fathers felt, that they're supposed to just roam all over private property without reasonable suspicion. And then there's other people in the comments, oh, well, you're just a criminal, and that's why you're. I'm not. But I don't want to be turned into one by nitpickery snooping around either. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I don't know. I don't know why people can't decipher the difference, but some people just bend over and grab their ankles, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I've put a few calls in. There's that I think it's Center for Justice, who is the law firm, their property rights advocate, and I want to contact them. I looked into doing a petition. Now, mind you, bear in mind that all this stuff is being reviewed, or not reviewed, but it's been litigated. It was the Punksy Club and the Pitch Pine Hunting Club. This Center for Justice is representing them, and there was a hearing back in April. I think there's some briefs and stuff I want to read or updates on that before I say too much because I haven't looked into that enough. I started to and I can't read, I didn't read enough to come up with a conclusion. I got to go back and look into that. I'm going to try and do that here after I get done with this little vid. I looked into a petition. A petition should be, I guess, written by a lawyer because there's certain criteria for a petition, like certain like procedural stuff that I guess you'd call it that summarizes it or whatever, and it's supposed to be in order, or it can be just ignored and poo-pooed, kind of laughed at, if it's not done right. So, trying to find out about that. I made a couple calls on that to some people I know, and one of them a retired lawyer, who I used to use in the past. So whatever, I haven't heard back anything on that, but I'd like to pick their brains about that, or maybe hire them to do something like that if it's not outrageous, because money's tight. But and I also maybe just doing not so much petition, but just some kind of a form letter. And I have like 7 or 8 landowners who've already told me, oh, if you do that, I'm signing it because I'm sick of this crap too. And just to a local state representative in our district. And then if I'm trying to figure out, well, if you did something like that, could you leave the representative in the district blank? And if you were to photocopy it or whatever, or email it to other concerned people in different counties, could they just fill in the district and the representative and then sign as a property owner on the bottom, like kind of one size fits all? And just stir up a little concern about this. And I think that would help if a lot of people were kind of yipping about this all at once. Might the greasy wheel might get the grease. The only thing I just don't know where this stands right now, or if nobody's going to hear anything, or what, I don't know. I mean, once something's gone through the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, are our representatives even allowed to pile onto that, or do they is it now just shut up and wait till it's supposed to be determined after the first of the year? So we might have just shut up and wait, see what comes out. And if it doesn't pass, in other words, getting rid of this open field doctrine and going to our own state constitution, i.e. Tennessee, New York, there's a bunch of states that have done that, then maybe it would be pick it up from there and see if we can rehash it. I don't know. I got to find that stuff out. And being busy, and I just haven't had a chance to do as much as I wanted to. I get started into it and something distracts me, or I fall asleep at night. But whatever, I'll keep you posted. But thanks a million. I've never had a video go so. I mean, to me, it's viral. It's got like 194,000 views. Again, you guys know my little channel. I get a few hundred views and whatever. It's just for fun, But I struck a nerve. People seem very concerned about this, and like I said, there's a few people that oh well, you must be an outlaw. You've given them a reason to come. No, I haven't. I just haven't. We've been hunting here for 35 years. I don't think we've ever got a ticket. I don't think. I had to, I can make a video on that, and I'll make another video on that because that'll be a 10-minute story. I had an incident here where they barged in. They actually barged in, not these guys. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say much but I did have an incident here. We're accused of something, and it was just stupid. It never went beyond that evening because they found out what it was. But they came in here guns ablazing, But that was years and years ago. It was 15, 20 years ago, and we've never ever had a citation or ticket. We don't. I mean, we get our doe tags and everything. Again, you might miss some stupid little procedural thing, whatever. But we've never been at a ticket. So these people are saying, "Wow, you know, you did something bad to bring this all apart." No, I haven't. And it's not just me. They roam all over everybody's property like this. So I don't know. So you guys take that, uh, you know, take that as you may. But anyway, I'll keep this posted. I'll keep this kind of going on and find out what I can find out and what the best procedure is. And you know, the timing of this is important too. If we might just have to wait and see what the Pennsylvania Supreme Court comes up with. And then, I mean, that moves on to the next thing is a national thing. Under federal law, federal constitution, why isn't the the loophole in that addressed at a federal level? And that's something a bunch of people could get together and start pursuing, you know. But it takes some legal savvy. But you know, there may be someone in this crowd that's a constitutional type lawyer that would help with this. I don't know. We're gonna just pursue it a little bit anyway. So I don't want to make this go too long because people know I blab on. So, hey, thank you. Like, subscribe, pass it around. The bigger we can get this message out, the more people are gonna hear it, and maybe we'll get something moving. And wouldn't that be cool? You know, I feel very called to do something like that. I think our rights are so very important, and I thank those who have sacrificed to defend them. And I think it's evil how politicians can worm around and change things, and we're not voting on it. You know what I mean? We the people, we're just kind of poo-pooed. So whatever. Okay, thanks guys. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Very, very much enjoy reading the comments. And have a good day. And talk to you in a bit.